Lesson 5-3, Day 3. This is a continuation of days 1 and 2, and there is not an essential question for this lesson. So you can either continue your notes from the earlier 5-3 lessons, or you can start a new page with just a question and note column. There isn't an essential question, so you won't need that top part. 5-3, Day 3 is all of the word problems, so we're going to be using SUI. Let's remind ourselves before we get into the word problems, all of the different words that we might see in our problems. So let's start with some of the easier ones. Less than, greater than or equal to, at least. Actually, that's not one of the easier ones. Let's go to the easier ones still. Greater than. We're missing, it must be on the bottom here. That's fewer than, less than or equal to. That was the one I was looking for. It was hiding on the bottom. Okay, more than, that one's not too bad. That one's greater than. At most. Okay, so let's go on with these last ones. Fewer than, that was the other one I was looking for. Okay, at least. If I have at least 5 apples, that means I have 5 or more apples. So that one's greater than or equal to. If I have at most 5 apples, that means I have 5 or fewer apples. So that one is less than or equal to. If I have no less than 5 apples, that means I have more or equal to 5 apples. And then I think I'm missing one. We are missing no more than, which maybe it's on the bottom here. Yes, no more than means I have no more than 5 apples, which means I have less than or equal to 5 apples. This is not a chart you'll be able to use on the test or quiz, but it is something that you can use on your homework if you're still trying to get the hang of what words mean which inequality symbol. All right, here we go with SUI. 2 more than half of a number is greater than 27. What could the number be? Now that we're in multi-step equations and inequalities, I'm going to let you know that SUI is going to get a little more challenging. It still works, but not quite as nicely as with the one step. So I just want to give you that warning ahead of time. I'll still start with my unknown, which is x. And then we're going to look for our inequality symbol, so we have greater than. Now the tricky part here is it also has more than. We don't want 2 inequality symbols. 2 more than half of a number, more than can also be an operation. So that's going to be an operation in this case. Greater than 27 is our inequality in our ends with, because 27 is our biggest number. So 2 more than half of a number. So 2 is one of the starts with numbers. And then half of a number, half would be like 1/2. Now this one we're also going to need 2 operations. Like I said, more than is plus, and of is multiplication. So it also helps to read from left to right. So 2 more than, so I'm going to do 2 plus half of a number. So I got the 2 more than from here, then I'll go back to the top, half of a number is greater than 27. Now I should be able to solve this. This is my couple, 2 is my third wheel, so minus 2 on both sides. 27 minus 2 is 25. To get rid of a fraction, I have to times by the reciprocal. So the reciprocal of 1/2 is 2 over 1, or 2. So those make 1. 25 times 2 is 50. So my answer is x is greater than 50. So yes, we still can write our starts with operation, unknown, inequality, and ends with, but it's not going to work quite as nicely as it did with the one step. We're going to need to do a little bit more digging back into the problem to make sure that our problem's written in the correct order. 5 minus 6 times a number is more than 4 times the number plus 45. What could the number be? All right, so our unknown again is x. Our inequality is more than, so more than is greater than. Now our ends with is 45, but we're going to put something in front of it. Let's start reading from the beginning. 5 minus. So I'm going to put 5 minus, or if it helps you, you can just start writing your inequality right away. 5 minus 6 times a number. So 6 times our number, so 6 times our number is greater than 4 times the number. So we're also going to need the 4 times the number plus 45. So this one is a little tricky. It actually might be better to not use SUI in this case. It might just help you to just read it from left to right, but you have to decide what works best for you. Train tracks. And now we have a variable on both sides. So if I want to keep things positive, I'm going to add 6x to both sides. We have to get our variable on the same side first. Bring down the 5. 4 and 6 make 10. And then we've got a couple in third wheel. 10x is my couple. 45 is my third wheel. So subtract 45 on both sides. 5 minus 45 is negative 40. Divide both sides by 10. I'm going to move over here a little bit. I didn't divide by negative 10, so I don't have to flip. Negative 40 divided by 10 is negative 4. Now, since the variable's on the right, I'm going to rewrite my x on the left. The Pac-Man mouth is opening to the negative 4, so the Pac-Man mouth has to open to negative 4. 5 minus 6 times the number is more than 4 times the number plus 45. Is that the same problem as the last one? Yes, it is. So we're going to skip that one and go to the next one. Felix needs the temperature of his gecko's cage to be at least 82 degrees Fahrenheit. Currently, the cage is 62.5 degrees Fahrenheit. How much warmer does the basking spot need to be? This one is going to work out pretty nicely again like the earlier ones. So let's put an x in our unknown. Our inequality is at least. At least is greater than or equal to. Our biggest number is 82, so I'll put that here. Our smaller number is 62.5. So now I just have to figure out what my operation should be. If we want to know how much warmer, if we're at 62.5, we need to know how much warmer does it need to be to get to 82. That would be addition. How much do I need to add to 62.5 to get it to the temperature it needs to be? So if I take 62.5 plus x is greater than or equal to 82. And then this is just a basic one-step equation. So subtract 62.5 on both sides. And we're left with x is greater than or equal to 19.5. So that means the temperature of his gecko cage needs to be 19.5 degrees or more in order for it to be the right temperature. So Felix needs to increase his gecko's cage 19.5 or more degrees to get to the 82 where he wants it. Pam wants to buy season passes to a water park. If one pass costs $54.99 and Pam has $100 to spend, the second pass can cost how much? Our unknown is x. This time they don't give us any inequality in this sentence, so I'm going to leave that blank. My ends with is my biggest number, which is 100. My starts with is my smaller number, which is $54.99. Now I'm buying 2 passes to the water park. I'm buying 2 season passes. So if I think about it, if I take my 2 passes and I bring it up to the cash register for them to ring them up, they're going to be adding the price of the 2 to get to my total. So that's why I need the plus. $54.99 plus the price of the second pass has to be either greater than or less than $100. Well, let's think about it logically. If I have $100 to spend, I can spend exactly 100 or I can spend less than 100. So the amount I spend has to be less than or equal to 100. So now if I solve this and I subtract $54.99 on both sides, I end up with x is less than or equal to 100 minus $54.99, so $45.01. So Pam can spend $45.01 or less and still be able to buy both passes. If the pass is more than $45.01, she can't buy it. Summary. The homework for this lesson is pages 298 through 300, numbers 1 through 2, 7 through 8, 22 through 28, and 39 through 40.